Let's go. We're back. Straight out the loo. Dylan, Sims, and Luke. We're here to talk to you today about USC and UCLA potentially joining the Big Ten. A little update on the MLB, recapping the NBA Finals. Oh, it's just a great day to have strength in numbers. And then we will be previewing the NFL. Sims, Big Ten maniac. What is going on?
Yeah, I mean, this is we saw Texas and Oklahoma go to the SEC. We see UCLA and USC go to the Pac-12 here. It's just trending towards here at some point in the next 10 to 15 years, more moving towards 2 or 3 Power 5 conferences in football. The Big East will stay the same in basketball, but I mean, the Pac-12 is going to be gone in my opinion. I think the Big 12 will basically be gone in terms of being a power conference. The only question is whether the ACC stays intact or if the SEC and Big Ten start making pushes towards teams like Florida State, Miami, Virginia, North Carolina. So we'll see how the ACC plays. But in my opinion, the Big 12 and Pac-12 are completely done. And the Big Ten and the SEC are going to be taking over college football in the near future.
Is it only for football right now?
No, they're moving over and everything.
Yeah, I think it's
starting in
everything.
2024.
And obviously, Dylan, you got your boy at USC, so they're going into the football conference. They'll probably be, I'm assuming, Big Ten West if they keep the division.
Yeah.
So that'll be good because
I think they're going to get rid of the divisions.
Yeah, that
and
would
do
make
just
sense.
straight up 18 teams because there's already 16 in there.
Yeah, I think they're going to get rid of the divisions, or at least realign the divisions. And I know at the very least they're going to have the top 2 teams playing the championship, no matter if they're in the same division or not.
The first thing that I thought of when I saw this is how Notre Dame is so soft. Like they haven't been in a conference for 100 years, and now there's no excuse for them to not be in a conference now that USC and UCLA are able to join the Big Ten. This is a huge blow for the Pac-12 too, obviously, because I mean, that it was a good conference. Football was definitely struggling with revenue, but obviously baseball, they were dominating. Tough showing for Stanford at Omaha, but overall, they had 2 top 5 teams. They're usually consistently good in every single sport. They're always competing. Arizona had a great year in basketball. It's tough for the Pac-12, but their conference is definitely screwed. More teams would rather play in the Big Ten or the Big 12 for sure.
Do you guys think that Lincoln Riley came into USC with his sights on leaving the Pac-12 like right away?
No.
So you think this was more of like a admin decision, or?
Well, I guess it would be weird if you didn't know about it, probably.
Yeah, I bet he knew about it.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably knew about it actually, but
Because I'm thinking like, I don't know if somebody else were to have gotten that job that wasn't the name that Lincoln Riley is, like, would they be in a position to make this move? And then UCLA making the move to me is a little bit confusing just because
from the football
yes, they will get the better recruits down the road, but right now they're not ready for that leap. Like
in other sports, they probably are though. Baseball, They're going to dominate.
I'm thinking football primarily right
now. Yeah, football primarily. Yeah. Yeah, I mean UCLA obviously. Chip Kelly's still there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a great coach.
Still there? How is he still there? I mean, they just accept mediocrity, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. But you made a good point also about the SEC. They've already poached Oklahoma and Texas, and you see what's his name, Arch Manning going to Texas, which is going to be SEC football too now. So more recruits are going to be going to the SEC, the Big Ten, and it's going to be dominant. So it's unfortunate for the Pac-12. That's all you can really say. And the ACC better watch out because Boston College, I'm telling you, is going to be the next one.
Yeah, I heard the SEC is making a big push for BC. That's the next team.
Yeah, I mean, Florida needs to beat somebody this year, right? So They got to put them on the schedule.
Yeah.
You guys think that down the road, say 10, 15 years down the road, we'll just see like again, just kind of thinking about college football, but we'll just see a college football world where it's simply the Big Ten versus the SEC and like kind of like almost like AFC, NFC, like.
Yes.
I did. I agree. And the group of 5, I don't know how the group of 5 conferences would work at that point, what they would do. But in terms of power conferences, yes, the SEC, Big Ten, maybe ACC. But
No, I think
way
the
they've
big,
been
I think the big,
trending.
I think the Big 12, I think the Big 12 is going to survive a little bit because they do have four. I mean, I know they're not big name programs, UCF, Cincinnati, they're all mid level, but those are teams that have also made noise in playoff conversations, at least in the past few years, dominating their other leagues. So if they are able to perform in the Big 12 and the Big 12 can poach, say, Utah, like those teams, Arizona State, they could potentially hang around for a little bit.
Yeah.
More so than the ACC, in my opinion. Because you got Clemson. How long is Clemson going to be in the ACC before they go to the SEC? 2026, 2027?
Well, I mean, the SEC might not even want them if they're sucking still.
No, they're going to be fine.
I don't think Clemson's at the top of their list at all. I definitely think Clemson's. I mean, I would think they would look at Florida State, Miami, even the team like North Carolina or Virginia before Clemson.
What?
Why? Why is that?
Well, definitely Florida State and Miami. Way higher football ceiling.
Based on, yeah.
And North Carolina and Virginia, you look at what they do in other sports, I think they would be up there as well. I mean, Clemson, other than this 10-ish year stretch that Clemson's had, they really haven't been like some great all-time football program. It's been, Dabo Swinney and his staff.
But he re-upped though, didn't he? Didn't he re-up his contract?
Yeah, he's still there. But I mean,
guaranteed.
Maybe they weren't that good this year. Who knows? We have to see what they do in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I know they're number 2, I think, in 2023 or 2024 recruiting. I know they're doing really well recently. But yeah, so is Texas A&M. I don't know if you saw that video today of the guy saying the boosters are going to be paying you a lot of money if you play here. What a joke they are.
Yeah, got to adapt.
Texas A&M guys.
But like, what I think is the funniest part is that Nick Saban said exactly what Jimbo Fisher was doing, and then he denied it. Like, there's no need to deny it because it's legal, so you can do it. But he denied it for some reason, and it's pretty obvious now that that's what they're doing. It's fine. Texas A&M has no history other than Johnny Manziel. They were 8-4 with him. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah. How about the Red Sox? They're 4th in the league in team ERA, or top 10 in team ERA for sure, and then top 5 team batting average. I mean, this team is the team that you guys kind of were, giving them the upside with in the beginning of the season.
Finally.
Tipping the cap on that prediction. I didn't think the staff would be here, but it's here. It's crazy.
Yeah, the staff's a bit unbelievable. On Tuesday, the ace, Michael Walker, got touched up a little bit in the first, but he was able to settle in. Sims and I have been talking about this, obviously. I mean, the bullpen is just treacherous. That's the number one issue that needs to be addressed. That and first base, obviously. Unless Franchy's going to keep hitting like this. What's going on with that? 4 for 4 last night?
He's great. He's a new player.
Yeah, but the Red Sox, obviously, they had a great month of June. 7 series wins, only 1 series loss, which was this last one to the Blue Jays. But they also do have the toughest schedule remaining in the MLB based on win percentage currently. And that's pretty scary. I'm pretty sure we got Tampa, New York, coming up after this 3-game set with Chicago. But they had a great month. They took care of business against worst teams. The bats are starting to come alive, and somehow the pitching's holding up, especially even with the Volley out, which is nice. But we're gonna have to see. Some guys need to get vaccinated. Tanner Houck and Jaron Duran. Good to see Duran finally playing really well too.
Duran's back.
Duran's back, but he's not vaccinated, so he didn't play the last 3 games. He's been hitting like 330, I think. But in the leadoff spot finally, since Kike's been hurt. So hopefully they can trade. They're ideally gonna have to trade one of those outfielders, right, Sims? Because Rev Schneider is also hitting like 320.
Yeah, as presently constructed, there's no room for Kike Hernandez on this team. So someone's gonna get traded. Maybe it's him, maybe it's Rev Schneider, maybe it's Duran. But like Luke was saying, this bullpen is awful. It is so bad. And this even with Tanner Houck being vaccinated, and even if he was playing in Toronto.
Yeah, he's still shaky. He's still a little shaky.
Yeah, I mean, he's no lights out closer, and the bullpen is still bad with him. I understand Whitlock will be out there, and I don't know. They'll probably have another starter out there at some point because the great James Paxton is coming back. Our savior.
And Sale.
Yeah. But they need another right-handed arm in the bullpen. Their lefties are okay. They'll have Josh Taylor coming back. But when they're rolling out guys like Hansel Robles and Ryan Brazier in big eighth innings, like it's recipe for disaster. So they need to shore up the bullpen. Other than if they do that, I think they have a chance to contend. Now, I think they're going to make the playoffs. I don't know how they're going to do against these AL East teams down the stretch, but just by virtue of the rest of the league being awful, I think they'll make it, even if they finish fourth in the division. And
Well,
if they shore up that bullpen, I think they got a shot.
I originally said that New York or the Yankees were the best team in the American League 2 weeks ago, but the Astros are unbelievably scary. I'd much rather.
You're more scared of the Astros right now.
Oh, 100. First of all, the Astros just the Mets the last 2 nights, and they just took 3 out of 4 from New York in the Bronx. They hit them for 15 consecutive innings. I don't know. They're pretty legit. And the one game they lost was a walk-off home run from Judge in the extra innings. It was like, run around second, whatever. I don't know. I'd be scared of Houston. Their lineup.
Their lineup. The Astros, if I had to pick a team right now to come out of the AL in the playoffs to make it to the World Series, I'm not picking the Yankees. You have to go with the Astros.
The Yankees have a great bullpen for sure with Holmes and the other guy King, but Houston's pitching is unbelievable. And then you have Bregman, Altuve, Brantley, Alvarez, Tucker, Gurriel. It's ridiculous. They're so good.
This is absurdity that I'm hearing right now. The Yankees are
no Sims. The Yankees, even with all the talent, they're gonna choke. They're gonna find.
I agree with that. I still think the team with the highest ceiling is Toronto, but that's beside the point. The Yankees are 9 games ahead of the Astros right now, and they play in the AL East. And the Astros get to play teams like Texas, the Angels, the Mariners, and the A's 19
they're
times
proven.
each.
So what? They're proven.
Are we on
we're
on game like 80? We're on game 80 out of 160. Sims. There's a lot to go.
The Yankees are gonna finish ahead of the Astros, and they play in the hardest division in the league. They're
you don't think
best average in the league, best ERA in the league. Their bullpen is great. They're hands down. I think the best team right now. They don't have the highest ceiling, I don't think, but
you're talking about the Yankees.
Yep.
Okay, well, yes, they're the best team. Like on paper, look at the record. You look at the team ERA. Fine, sure, best team. Yeah. But dude, look at the Astros lineup. Look at the people. Look at Verlander putting up what a 2.5 ERA versus
Verlander, Valdez,
40-year-old.
They're good. I agree. I'm not doubting the Astros. I'm just saying it's absurd that we're saying the Astros are better than the Yankees.
Why is that though? They've also been to 3 World Series in 5 years. The same core.
Yeah, they're
experienced. It's like the Warriors.
They're good, but this is absurdity. You can't say right now, as presently constructed, the Astros are a better baseball team than the Yankees.
No, they
after
are.
80 games.
They probably are.
I'd rather be the Houston Astros than the New York Yankees, to be honest. Sorry, I like their team better than the Yankees. Top to bottom. Yankees bullpen's great. I just said that, but I like their team better. I like their lineup a lot.
7-game series right now.
I'm not trying to take anything away from the Yankees, but the Astros are just such a good team.
7-game series right now. I think it goes to 7, and I don't know who wins that 7th game. But 2 months from now, 3 months from now, 7-game series, Astros in 6.
I could definitely see the Red Sox beating the Yankees in a series, but I don't know if I could see them beating the Astros in a series.
I'm 100% agreeing with you guys saying the Yankees could choke or whatever. I'm just arguing that right now.
Oh, they're the best team in baseball, sure. Okay. Right now on record, and they're playing well. But the Astros also did just take 3 out of 4 from them.
Yeah, well, they play again this weekend. We'll see what happens.
No, they only play 1 game.
Oh, they have 1 game.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's like I was watching that earlier today.
Well, either way, I'm still looking at Toronto as the highest ceiling in the American League. Their lineup is ridiculous.
Yeah,
their pitching is.
Isn't Barrios
that guy they brought in yesterday was god awful.
Oh, their bullpen's bad. Their bullpen's really bad. The same thing with the Red Sox. They have to shore that up. But they're obviously their lineup is good. They have Gausman, Manoah, and somebody else needs to step up. But if you look at the ceiling,
stat padded 3 games against the Red Sox this year because we just swing at a splitter every time.
Yeah. Somebody else needs to step up. It's got to be Barrios or Yusei Kikuchi. Somebody has to step up. Those guys have been good in the past, and I think that they still have the highest ceiling.
Kikuchi's got like a 5 ERA this year, man.
Yeah, he's been good in the past. Somebody else has to step up. They have a high ceiling.
Toronto's a good team, but I'll take the battle-tested Astros right now too, for sure.
I think Toronto still has a year or two until they're like really contenders.
Yeah, I think they need one more.
Maybe
How about the Giants though?
The Giants. Yeah,
a little bit not great.
But the
not great
Magic's
right now.
gone. The Magic's gone. I mean, this is
You're
a
still
team.
in it.
They're in it. I mean, they're in the
Yeah.
wild card hunt. They're not going to win the division, but
That's all you need in
last year-
baseball, though, just to be in it.
yeah, but they're hitting 239 as a team right now. And last year they led the league in home runs as a team. Now they're like 11th, 12th.
Yeah.
Not terrible, but they don't score runs. They never score runs. And then they have guys like DeSclafani going out there and giving up 7 and 2
Yeah,
innings.
he's awful. I saw that. He's terrible.
I don't know how he was
Every
good last
time.
year.
Every time. He finished with like a 3.5 last year.
I
I mean,
know.
solid. But yeah, no, this year very bad. Logan Webb's doing okay. Rodon's doing okay, but again, it's just you have Jock Peterson hitting third for this team, right?
He's
and then
doing
after
well, though.
him, it's like Evan Longoria, and you have Carl Yastrzemski. Like, if they don't sign Aaron Judge this offseason or another just huge free agent.
Oh, Judge is going back.
Well, they can sign Bogarts because he's definitely going to be walking.
Yeah, we're giving a minimum wage.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Or JD
I
Martinez.
don't know if they'd be willing to break out the big bucks for Xander, but I don't know what they're gonna do. I trust Farhan Zaidi, but right now this team's very much middle of the pack, like just as middle of the pack as it gets in today's MLB.
You guys should have at least gone after Castellanos since you let Chris Bryant, he didn't perform like crazy, but he still gets pitched around. He's still a presence in the lineup.
Right.
Like, I felt
they
like
didn't fill the gap
go.
at all. They didn't fill the gap.
Yeah. It was bizarre. They just thought
Joey Bart busted. He's back in the minors now. I mean,
yeah, he's not good. Yeah.
It's a tough start.
But that other minor league kid's supposed to be like a prodigy, right? So
Eloy Ramos.
Yeah, he's obviously a couple years away, but
I mean, he's coming up and down. He keeps bouncing between Sacramento and here, but
and the National League's just so stacked. I mean, the Mets, the Braves, even the Phillies are talented. I know.
Once Tatis comes back, I'm looking at the Padres as winning the NL West for sure.
Their pitching is unbelievable.
Yeah,
and they're better without Tatis.
Machado's having one of the best.
They're better without Tatis.
They are.
There we go.
They clearly are.
James.
It's like
they're just older.
The Grizzlies. It's like the Grizzlies without John Morant.
No, yeah, exactly. That's why they lost to the Warriors in the playoffs. And speaking of the NBA, congrats on the championship.
Yes. It was expected, but what wasn't expected is how it played out. Like, I did not see.
I know they were supposed to win 74 regular season games. And they finished in third.
Obviously. We didn't see the record being broken, even though it was on trajectory for like 20 games or so.
It was.
We were on pace, but what I was very surprised to see in the finals is that the Celtics took a card out of the Warriors deck and decided to just have 20 like terrible turnovers per game, about like 8 of them courtesy of Jason Tatum. I mean,
yeah,
it was crazy. It was like I was watching Warriors basketball in January, like they're just out here just, trying to start the offense. Second pass they make, it's just, oh, yeah, third row. Like, that was bizarre. They need a point guard.
I feel like Sims is going to cover that, so I'll let him talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, the Warriors were the better team because they're the more polished team. The Celtics, maybe you could say the Celtics had more talent, but they were not nearly as polished as the Warriors were, clearly. The Celtics' best player did not show up for the entire series. If he did, at least somewhat show up. We could have had a parade. I could have been at the parade if he had at least somewhat shown up. Marcus Smart, complete disaster. He is a terrible, terrible basketball player, a terrible point guard. I don't care what he had to say to the media. Well, this non-star point guard led him to the finals.
That's right. He's the first point guard. They've had a lot of great point guards, but he's the first one leading the finals. That's right.
Yeah, we're gonna hang up that Eastern Conference champion banner. I'm sure Marcus is gonna be ready for that.
He'll say some words.
But yeah, I mean, you got to give a lot of credit to Steph Curry. He played a great series. especially in
Ridiculous.
that game 4. A lot of that though was on the Celtics for scoring like 4 points in the last 5 minutes of game 4. That's really where the series shifted. I thought they had, well, I shouldn't say I thought they had that wrapped up. I've seen them blow way too many games, but it looked like they were going to go up 3-1 there. They had the lead in the fourth quarter with 5 minutes left and completely just went dark. The offense, as we've seen so many times, no movement in the last few minutes of the game. That's been a problem all season. But I mean, there's a lot to work with here. Obviously, I think you add another bench piece, a shooter.
Danilo Gallinari, I heard they're interested in.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's fine. Somebody who can shoot.
We just need shooters.
Someone that's better than Daniel Tice as a backup big. I think the point guard thing is.
You
I think it's
have
lower on the
Marcus
list.
Smart running your offense, man.
No, we need to trade Marcus Smart for Lonzo Ball.
Well, yeah, I mean that'd be great if the Bulls did that, but that's not going to happen.
Well, Marcus Smart's a winning player. He's the heart and soul of a team. So I think the Bulls will be bought.
There was a span of time, really from like January through the end of the regular season, maybe through like the Nets series, where Marcus Smart actually accepted his role. Was a solid point guard, didn't shoot as much as he did in the finals, which was a joke. And he has to accept his role. I think, yes, it would be helpful to get a point guard, but the Celtics had a great chance to win the finals this year. And I think if you're looking at that as the number one need, I think you're off.
Well, shooters are the number one need.
Yeah, exactly.
100%. Yeah. But also one thing I have to say about that series was we made Andrew Wiggins look like Andrew Wiggins was unbelievable.
He had a great series. He had a great
series. So he had a great playoffs though. It wasn't like just that series.
That's right. He shut down Luka. That's what they were saying.
What's that?
They were saying he shut down Luka. Like I've seen so many people debate about like him shutting down Luka, even though he averaged like 35 or something ridiculous. Like the Iguodala thing.
Oh God, yeah. Iguodala. LeBron had 40 points a game, but Iguodala gets the Finals MVP.
Well, I mean, you can make the argument like, hey, they switch all the time, so like how many of those 35 are actually on his head? But
you don't need to switch when you play this.
I think debatably, like. I mean, okay, if you don't have Wiggins, I don't think the Warriors win that series. But if you don't have Steph, the Warriors aren't even in the series, right? So, people say, oh, maybe Wiggins deserved the Finals MVP over Steph.
Same thing with every basketball. You need role players. It's how the game's made.
Yeah, but I can see the argument, especially, with him doing his thing against Tatum. I mean, he made Tatum pretty uncomfortable for the majority of the series. So
and you don't even need to worry about switching onto players because the Celtics set air screens. They're not real screens. But
no, it's true.
One thing we've talked about is Jaylen Brown. He was linked to like some Durant thing that was unrealistic since Kyrie opted back in, and he had really good finals, but he was god awful in Game 5 where we needed him to play somewhat well on the road. Unbelievably bad, Sims, right? At least in that
game. He was bad in that game, but he had a great series. And
they also need a dribbling coach.
Yeah, he does. But I'm not. I can't go and say stuff about Jaylen Brown when the guy who's the supposed best player didn't show up for a single game in the series.
It's true. It's true. No, I thought
like in Game 6, Jaylen Brown maybe played one of his best games of the season in Game 6, begging for Tatum to make a shot in the fourth quarter.
No, I agree.
And my God, that guy, a complete gag job from Tatum.
Next season, do you guys think that the Celtics are able to put themselves in contention again? I mean, I know the East hasn't really completely shaken out yet, but I think it seems like the Nets are going to be intact. Seems like the Sixers might still keep James Harden.
I mean, the Bucks. I think the Bucks are going to the finals next year. I think the Bucks are like booked for the finals.
They're the favorite.
They want Giannis. Yeah, they want Giannis. They're definitely the favorite. And I think it's going to be tough for the Celtics to beat them. I think their ceiling's the Eastern Conference Finals, though. I would expect them to be there, be in that area, go to 7 in the semis. Don't finish in like seventh place like they did the year before.
Yeah, I think they're going to be better next year. I think the Celtics are going to be more developed and just better, more comfortable. I don't see them regressing at all. They're not going to regress.
Yeah, hopefully.
Let's say they're probably second. I mean, it's tough to put them ahead of the Bucks. But you never know who's going to be healthy or anything too. So
last thing on the NBA. What's up with Draymond getting rattled by the Green Teamers? What he was really upset about that?
Oh, he must have
Like,
been.
him and Clay were genuinely upset about
Clay
fan.
Thompson. Oh my God, he looks
Yeah,
like
Clay
such a
Thompson's out to lunch, dude. He's a cartoon. He's out. He's pretty gone. But Draymond,
Oh,
that was interesting because when I heard him say like, "Oh, they're dropping, F-bombs. There's children in the stands." I was thinking like right when he said that, like I've definitely heard you like drop an F-bomb,
yeah.
say like SHIT like
Yeah.
live on camera in a press conference. And like I was thinking that while he made
And
that
screaming
comment
it on the court.
initially, bro, and then you go to the championship parade, and this guy, even at the start of the day when they're all sober, he's just saying like F him, like and then he goes and asks this guy, like during the parade, he goes and asks this reporter, he's like, "Oh, is this live TV?" And then the guy's like, "Yeah," and he's like, he just drops an F-bomb. Like I don't know. That was a very, very interesting comment by Draymond about the Garden fans. But I mean, you guys did your job. Did your job.
I just don't understand like how that just can't happen. Like that he was genuinely rattled. He was playing god awful too
Oh,
in
yeah.
games 3 and 4. He was good in 6. And then I saw like some video like Curry took the
Steph.
leadership
Yeah,
by
Steph.
by talking trash to the crowd. Like what was up? That was bizarre.
Well,
Like
I do remember watching that. That was game 4, right? I do
Yeah.
remember watching him like just go crazy in the first quarter. And it definitely like was kind of off. So it wouldn't make like it would make some sense if that's what was actually going on. Like Curry was trying to get the attention on him and like, away from Draymond. But I
yeah.
don't
But
know
like if somebody
how valid that really is. I mean, I don't know.
if somebody's sitting courtside, like personally, we've never obviously ever played anything like that's that level or whatever. But somebody just said like, "Hey, f you, man." Like I wouldn't like be like scared or like rattled. Like you're on an NBA court on national TV. Like it's gonna be okay. It's 2022. Also, like nothing's gonna happen.
Right.
Like I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what was going. That was bizarre, especially for Draymond, who's his reputation as being the tough guy, the leader. Weird. Really
He
weird.
showed up in the end there. Definitely showed up game 6.
I'm also sick of hearing all these other NBA players like on their podcasts and complaining about like Skip Bayless. Like, are they serious? Like, come on.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook, like say it to my face. He's like, he will say it to your face, and I want to see him say it to your face.
I do want to see that. I do want to see that one. That one was unbelievable. Like, he's terrible, God, and he opted in. How come Harden didn't opt in? $48 million? What are you doing?
I don't know. He's not going to get paid anything better.
Well, yeah, no way. I heard he's going to take like a $20 million deal. I don't know. Stay with the Sixers. Bizarre. He just opted in.
Yeah, it
but
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and then Kyrie's out there again.
Kyrie's getting rattled by Stephen A. Smith right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
they had an
as
altercation.
low as it gets.
They had an altercation.
On
I saw the
Twitter.
Jaguar getting into it too.
Yeah.
The NBA is ridiculous. So bad. That's why thank God the
Absolutely.
NFL is coming back.
Yeah.
Thank God.
How's the coaching situation in New England?
Don't have
Great.
it.
It's great. They're adopting the Shanahan offense. Do you know that, Sims?
Okay. What does that mean?
That's a good question. I think they're just going to run quick slants the whole game.
Nice. Good.
Well, they're gonna have to run that because it's the only place Patricia knows.
Because I know they're not adopting the like the run schemes, so they're not adopting the zone running. They're just gonna like stay with the Patriots run game's usually fine.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. What it is.
Gonna
But
run quick slants.
they're just gonna run Devontae Parker and Aguilar 100 miles an hour this way, and Thornton's gonna run as fast as he can because he runs a 4.2. He's gonna run down the. I still don't even know what his first name is. What's his first name? I don't know.
Who's that?
Our second round pick.
The Baylor guy.
Yeah. Was it Thornton?
Thornton, but what's his first name?
Taekwon Thornton.
Oh,
Yeah.
Taekwon.
Yeah,
Taekwon. Yeah, I can't wait to see him and Nikhil lining up next to each other. It's going to be a good year. And our non-existent offensive line with our linebackers, a lot of speed there with Jabril Peppers and Bentley.
Bentley's
and,
a captain this year.
Jabril Peppers is a Patriot.
Yeah, Jabril Peppers, he's playing linebacker for the Patriots.
What?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We
I
picked
did
him
not
up
know
off the
this.
scrap heap.
Oh God.
And
Okay.
who's our number one corner? Jonathan Jones.
Yep.
And McCourty's in a retirement home, but he's
Yep.
still playing.
Still playing.
And my brother's like convinced they're going to win 11 games. 11 games.
They are going to be so bad. So bad.
The Jets might tie our win total. Might.
Yep. I'm looking through their schedule right now. I see 3 wins if they're lucky. Lions, Bears, and the Jets once.
Lions, Bears.
I mean, they don't have coaches. Like, I don't know. How is Matt Patricia your offensive coordinator?
Well,
like,
Joe Judge is the assistant, so it's okay.
Yep. And he's the quarterback's coach too. So Mac is really going to develop well this year under Joe Judge.
Well, they're both learning.
Yes. Yep. That's right. I mean, they're a joke. Bill Belichick is a con artist, and I don't know how he has ridden the coattails of Tom Brady for all this time. And he has just been a disgrace, really. He is a terrible coach. He is a terrible GM, and he needs to be fired.
Yeah, it's pretty bad right now. But I mean, the Niners. What's going on with San Francisco? Not like naming a star. Just get rid of Jimmy if you're not going to like. He's either playing or he's not.
Yeah, he's the starter.
Did you guys hear the Pat McAfee show interview with there was some guy from what's it, the Good Morning Football or
yeah on NFL Network.
Yeah. And he was talking about how when he was at the combine, everybody was talking about, oh, they're gonna trade Jimmy, and then Jimmy gets the surgery, and then nobody wants to trade for a quarterback post-operation when they haven't seen him throw with the new shoulder. So now he's rehabbing away from the team. Trey totally has like the reins as QB1, right? I think, nobody else is there to take it from him. And he's got the respect of all these other players, and everybody's ready for him to lead them into battle and be the QB1. But then apparently Shanahan's planning on bringing Jimmy back into the fold.
Just on the Wildcat.
So they either, I mean, my thinking is that they're bringing him back just to get him the reps with the teams so that can put it on film and be like, hey, this is what we're working with. Like, it's better than what you have. Let's make a trade. Right. But, then there's the other side of the coin where it's like, what Sims is saying. It's like, no, there's going to be a QB competition with Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance.
Not a competition. He's going to be the starter.
So do you think Shanahan thinks Lance just sucks? Like, now he's just like regretting it?
No, I don't think so, because everything you hear is so positive from like the players, the assistants, everything that like they're saying to the press is all overwhelmingly positive. I don't think it would really be that that sentiment with the detail if that weren't the case, at least to a certain extent. But then it's just confusing when you're bringing in Jimmy, like potentially, it's not official, but potentially they're going to bring Jimmy back into the fold and put him in a Niners uniform for practice, at least.
It's also really confusing when your star player says he wants to trade and won't play for the team again and then shows up to practice.
Well, he's there just so he wouldn't get fined. He didn't practice. He was playing catch with Kyle Shanahan. He was playing catch with Kyle Shanahan's kid the whole time. Fucking football on the sideline. He didn't pad up or do anything with the team. He was just there.
Trent Williams should knock him out.
So, I mean, potentially he's still going to get traded. But there's 2 rumors because, there's always 2 completely
the Patriots we'll give you Kendrick Bourne back.
Well, Dylan, I'm confused how there are rumors.
Well, that's the thing. Nobody knows. So then you have one rumor. It's like, oh, they're going to re-sign him.
Coming from the Jets camp.
No, listen. You gotta listen. You got the one side way over here that's like, oh, they're gonna re-sign him to this huge mega deal, and then on the other side, it's like, oh yeah, no, he's getting traded like for sure. So I don't know. I don't know.
Would you rather sign him to the mega deal or trade it?
At this point, I with this past draft being over, it would have been nice if we got that 10th overall pick from the Jets. I mean,
that could have got Olave or Williams.
Yeah, but now that this draft's over, I'm more in the camp of let's keep him. But
yeah, he's gotten injured before, but he doesn't usually miss like extended amount of time.
Usually like a few games a year at least.
Yeah, he's getting underrated too around the league right now from what I'm seeing. People forget how good he is. I don't know. Bizarre. They're in a tough spot with him though. I don't know what they're gonna do. Like they're not
Oh,
just gonna let him sit
too
out.
tough.
You can't just let him sit out.
No.
So they got to
Yeah.
make. And I don't know. Frankly, I don't know what they're doing right now because they're such a talented team, and that they have Garoppolo just hanging around and Debo just hanging around.
Well,
Just
again,
nothing.
Garoppolo has not been with the team at all this summer.
But he under contract with the San Francisco 49ers, which
He's
is
owed $28 million currently.
I think that hopefully what they're doing is they're just waiting for the training camp preseason injury where some guy like has a freak injury because that always
Right.
happens.
That's the hope, but that's, again, not an expectation necessarily, but
Yeah.
the hope for sure.
Sam,
What about I'm hearing that Baker might end up being the Browns quarterback this year.
no, he just said at his I was watching Sports Center yesterday. He just said at his camp yesterday that the two teams have mutually agreed to, or they mutually agreed to split. So he doesn't really see himself playing quarterback for the Browns again. That's what he said
But
straight up.
Deshaun Watson, he's gone.
He's not playing. Deshaun Watson's not playing, and he shouldn't play.
So
Well, that's
then
another win for the Patriots. Then they got
what
4.
do they have? They have Case Keenum. Is that who their third string is?
KC, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know really exactly who it is, but they'll probably pick someone up, or you could trade him Jimmy.
Trade him, Jimmy.
There you go. That's your
Jimmy
That's
is
your
good.
final year of the contract. That's exactly what you need.
They might trade him to Lance.
That's true.
I mean, they signed Jimmy to a big contract for a reason. He's a big time quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, you got him to the big games. Didn't deliver.
Well, that's because your guy dropped an interception to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but Jimmy looked pretty bad too. He made some pretty bad throws.
Yeah, Jimmy
He played
was
well. He
god-awful.
played well enough to win.
What I will say is, I think the Niners should be the favorites in the NFC, but I think you need to see Trey. If Trey Lance is going to start, we need to see him play. If Debo's there and Trey Lance, we need to see him play a little bit before we can fully.
You definitely can't say they're the favorites.
You're gonna have him the favorite over the Rams and
It
Bucks.
has to be the Rams. There's what they got. Just got Allen Robinson and Bobby Wagner. Like,
yeah, but you guys are pretty good against the Rams, and the Niners have just as good a talent too. I mean, Bobby Wagner's old.
yeah, no, he's
don't think
old. He's still a top 5 linebacker.
They lost Von Miller though, if you want to put it that way. They replaced Von Miller with Bobby Wagner.
Yeah, I'd rather have the edge rusher, but
yeah, exactly. I think they'll be good, and then Bosa's nasty. It'll be fine.
We'll see.
As long as Trey Lance hopefully is good.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting year in V2. Watching football on Sundays.
It'll be great. I don't even know if I'm going to watch games this year. Tough.
Yeah. Going to be an interesting one.
Oh, by the way, before we go real quick, the Bruins are ridiculous. Ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Still haven't hired a coach.
We re-signed the GM, right?
Yeah, thank God.
Yep. We re-upped our GM. That's just blows at everything that is required to be in the general manager in hockey. That was a good one. So yeah, that was great. And we're all of our players are 38 years old, and then our superstar is 26. We're not going to give him a new contract because we already traded away his 2 buddies. So he already dislikes the GM. So he's not going to re-sign with us regardless, and he's going to leave. So it's awesome. We're in a great spot right now. That's all I needed to say. Thank God the Avalanche won the cup. Thank God. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
All right, that'll do it. Straight out the Lou, coming to you hot, June 30th, 2022.